On one day, I felt like my life was a simple cliche, a poor college student working extra hours at the creamer, wishing every day that I could quit and leave the smell of coffee beans and hipster bullshit forever. It was nearing 4 p.m. and I had skipped my poetry workshop class in order to hopefully make a couple of extra bucks and tips. I wanted more than anything to be there for it, to read over my Pantoum 4 more times. I was thinking about maybe even having Professor Schreienberg take another look at it, before I allowed it to get torn apart by my pretentious classmates. But I needed the money more than I needed my art. A 20-year-old poet having to sacrifice his dreams to work an extra hours in a level of hell just above Starbucks? Yeah, that's a cliche. And then, as if barely being able to afford Kraft mac and cheese wasn't bad enough, my roommate Max decided that accosting me at work during my shift was the right move to make when demanding that I pay rent. I've explained to him time and time again that I'm doing my best, that we're already living in what's basically known as the white people ghetto, so it's not like I can really afford anything else. He's not a total douche, so when I ask him for another week, he agrees and finally takes his leave. I was in complete panic, totally zoned out in the fear that I might have to move back in with my mother and her boyfriend Christian, who thinks poetry is faggy, and then suddenly, every color in the whole shop somehow became brighter. I'm not kidding when I say she was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. It wasn't just that she was physically attractive either. She had this glow about her, this illuminating quality of intelligence rested deep within her eyes that sparkled and crinkled at the edges when she smiled. She ordered a caramel macchiato, and I have to admit that I highly respected her for not going with something more complicated. I felt like my fingers were numb and bad, and all my past months of barista experience suddenly eluded me. She smiled and laughed as I handed it over until... Friggin' Alice! Who knew that a name could have so much beauty and grace? I wanted to ask for her number, but I knew that it would probably be pretty unprofessional, especially after dumping coffee on her. I went home at night thinking only about her and her curly hair and the curve of her smile. My luck had seemed to straight up vanish. I was in need of not one, not 3, but 4 new tires after they had been slashed in the middle of the night. Again, we live in a ratchet-ass neighborhood. Sadly, it wasn't looking too good for my bank account, which is how I found myself in the happiest place on earth. Big O tires. I felt like I could scream at the universe for the millionth time this week before I noticed the colors changing again. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was her, and I couldn't help but think, what kind of crazy shit was this? It had to be fate, right? And you don't look a destiny horse in the ass. So I decided to approach her. Cautiously, of course, I don't want to seem like a stalker. And then she looked at me with those big, sparkling eyes and asked me if we'd met somewhere before. Not wanting to seem creepy, I tell her that I work at a coffee shop, and she snaps her fingers in recognition, her smile only growing wider. Instant electricity. I've never felt anything like it before, and I was close to telling her that I thought she was cute, or asking her what she was doing in the tire store before. ago, but at least she knew my name this time. I kept wondering if my hand was too sweaty or if I'd mess up my chance to be with her. I don't live in a large city, but it was still pretty large for this to simply be happenstance. I don't know why, but my gut told me that we just had to meet again. The only thing keeping me sane had been my cat, Cheez-It. He was seriously the greatest cat ever. He never bit or scratched anyone. He would seriously sit on anyone's lap, except of course for Max. He would always yell about the cat to me. Max was the only person that Cheez-It ever scratched, and I honestly can only imagine that he'd done something to provoke it happening, because it only ever happened once. He was always trying to get me to get rid of Cheez-It, to give him back to my parents or something. So when I got home 2 nights ago, just to find him missing, I wouldn't say I was shocked, completely filled with anger and wrath, absolutely, but not surprised. I stormed out of the house, completely needing to find this cat, my closest confidant. But, as they say, it always gets darkest before the dawn, because as I practically ran down the street, calling Cheez-It's name, and there she was. That ray of sunshine, that beacon of light, and I knew that the universe was simply telling me not to waste my shot. She could tell I had been crying. Our conversation came naturally. It was like she somehow already knew everything about me. I felt like I could walk with her for hours, searching for our cat like we were living the end of Breakfast at Tiffany's. But even Audrey Hepburn couldn't compare to the way Alice smiled at me. And finally, I felt courage surge through my veins like the electricity between our words.
I've been through a lot of roles myself, audition after audition, competing with thinner bitches, more talented than I could ever hope to be. But walking by the computers every day, I became more and more certain that he was right for me. I hadn't meant to follow him that first day, but as soon as I heard the gospel in his voice, I knew that Victor deserved more. He deserved me. Following him that first time. He loved his cat more than anything, and it sounds crazy, probably, but I couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy immediately. He looked happier to see that animal than he had been to see me. It was fine though. I've known him so much longer than he'd known me. After all, he'd come around. But I wanted him to come around like we do with romantic coffee. We needed a second meet cute for him to really ask me out. I googled the nearest Big O Tires to his house and quickly and seamlessly slashed his tires. I was hoping he'd be earlier since I prefer when it's punctual. But I didn't mind waiting near the store. hours. But it was worth it. What was 2 hours compared to being happy for the rest of my life? I was starting to get impatient. He didn't ask me out. I decided to leave knowing that my next measure would have to be more drastic. I needed to be the absolute most important thing in life. How does someone assume it's stupid? It surprised me that you could love something so absolutely stupid. Then immediately let me pick it up. Better. It didn't scream or wriggle or bite at all. It wasn't expecting it to be so easy.
Of course, I was sad that I had lost Cheez-It. Whatever his name was. Doesn't matter now, but I had found something so